Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to SOMA. We finally made it to Lambda, but I haven't touched base inside of it yet. I have not moved a single toe since the last recording, and so now we just have to walk in and we gotta find Catherine. That's really what we came here for. Hopefully she can tell us a bit more about what's going on in this place. There's not really a whole lot here to look at, but I'll stop and just have a look at the surroundings as I go on.
Catherine?
Catherine? Oh god. I hope that monster didn't gank her like the second I came in here. Okay. So yeah, that guy's an asshole. We'll be running into him throughout this area, and he sucks, and I do not like him at all. But we should really go and check on Catherine. I think that he's kind of fucked off for the time being, thankfully. Before we check on Catherine, though, I just want to go to this room over here, because once we check on her, we're not really going to want to explore this area, because there's not really a whole lot here, to be honest. This is more of like a plot dump area, where literally we just meet Catherine and get plot from her. But I think there's... Are you still in here? Bro, you better not be in here. I think there's one thing to read in this locker. And this, again, this was, I think, like the day of, or maybe the day after the event on Earth. This is just a little message. Sad. Very sad. All those people up on Earth who lost their lives. Yes, I know, Catherine. I'm sorry. And I know it's suspenseful that we've waited all this time to meet you, and I'm just lollygagging about. But I want to show the viewers the whole entire area of Lambda here. Just to show that there really is nothing. There is a healing thing here. But yeah, Lambda is really all of about 4 or 5 rooms with a whole lot of nothing in it, so... Let's check on Catherine.
I'm right next to you.
No, not you too. I was really hoping you were human.
Who didn't see that plot twist coming like a mile away?
Anymore. This is... everything's...
Not Simon, apparently.
There's nothing left.
Calm down, it's not the end of the world.
You sure? It sure as hell looks like it. For all I know, there's no one left except for me.
What do you mean? I'm right here.
Don't take this the wrong way, but I meant any humans left except for me.
Have you looked at yourself lately? You're a walking, talking diving suit with some electronics slapped on for good measure.
I don't...
You don't want to think about it? We'll start thinking about it.
I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be this. I want out.
Before you do anything hasty, could you help me with something?
What?
I was trying to find out what happened with my project when that brute knocked me to the ground.
Your project? How could anything possibly matter when you know you're a stupid robot in a stupid dead world?
Okay, focus. I need you to fix me so I can get back to work. Then you can sulk as much as you want.
You gotta be kidding, right? I think I have a better chance of building myself a time machine than of putting you back together.
I just need to access the computer. Oh, is that an Omnitool you're carrying?
Oh, the door opener? I picked it up at Upsilon where I woke up.
That'll have to do. Plug it into the terminal.
Sure, whatever.
Yeah,
When
so...
the tool is loaded, just plug my cortex
Spoiler
into the
alert.
tool.
Catherine's not actually a
It will be
human.
obvious. I'll eject it for you. Just grab the chip and slide it into the Omnitool. Come on, I just need you to do this one thing for me.
Sure, whatever.
It's pretty obvious. I mean, we really have not come across a lot of humans, and we've come across an awful lot of robots. But, I mean, I guess I can't blame Simon for holding out some hope that there were humans around here still that he could interact with.
The Omnitool is ready now. Should be easy enough. Just pick up the chip and slide it into the Omnitool.
Why does a robot chip fit a door opener?
It's standardized connect.
Catherine? Alright, let's give this a try.
So basically what we're going to do now is we're going to insert her personality into the chip. If we recall earlier when we got the Omni chip, there were two different kinds of chips. There was a Cortex chip, which we don't have, and then there was the other kind of security encryptor chip, which has allowed us to open up all the doors. So we've just kind of been using the default personality, but this Cortex chip in our hand kind of contains Catherine's personality, so to speak.
Shutting down helper chain. Have a nice day.
Just pretty much anything will fit.
Pretty cool.
This feels weird. I'm in the Omnitool? Thanks.
So, what's the project about?
My project? Oh, well, I saved all the people on the station as brain scans and put them into an artificial world. We were going to launch it into space to save it from, well, all of this.
Are you telling me that you were going to launch a computer world filled with people into space?
Yes. It was just a pet project at first, but it got really serious after the comet took out the surface. Then suddenly it became very important, and it was officially named the Ark.
That's appropriate. How far did you get?
I don't know. That version of me that I am. It came from a scan I did pretty early on. The living Catherine could very well have finished the project and launched it. I guess she could even still be alive. Weird thought.
So the talking robots, are they also scans you did?
They could be, but I doubt it. I'd expect much more sense if that was the case. All right, finally.
What's happening?
I managed to restore some data from the backup server. This should tell us everything we need. Oh. Could you do me a favor and run into the other room and have a look? I don't seem to be able to view the files in this condition. I need to know that the Ark is safe.
Sure, Kath.
Thanks. I'll unlock the door for you.
Alright, well
What
that's
was you said before?
actually
You're from Toronto?
kind of a
Yeah,
cool
just
thought,
went in
really.
for a brain scan, and suddenly, here I am.
That doesn't make any sense. How? Why would anyone bring a scan from Toronto?
You think that's strange? What if I tell you it was back in 2015?
Whoa.
To think that you could actually scan a person's consciousness and then insert them into like an artificial world and have them continue on as they were still living as a human being. So it's basically just transferring someone's personality and their consciousness into another medium. I don't know if that's cool or if that's scary, because that really sort of blurs the line.
Say something?
I'm still trying to figure out how you got here.
Keep at it. I'd really like to know who thought sending a Canadian to the bottom of the sea was a good idea.
Alright, so this is the room we need to go into. We can look at this map here, and this is just an area map kind of showing the bottom of the sea floor, and I think that those triangles show all the different sites. I could be wrong, but something along those lines. So you can see it actually stretches over a pretty long stretch of the ocean floor there.
Just check the computer.
Yes, look for anything about the Ark.
Alright, and this is the super sweet plot dump computer that we're going to get. It's going to teach us a lot about the Ark, and we're also going to be able to hear some audio logs and do some pretty cool stuff. So really, if you just want to move on with the story and you don't want to bother with any of this stuff, you would go right to the Ark tracker, which is what Catherine wants. But we'll start by listening to some audio tapes. We've got 3 interview tapes here to listen to. One from Robin, one from Ian, and one from Mark. So let's start with Robin's.
Are you excited about the Ark? At first, I couldn't really see the point of it. But then I thought, why shouldn't we, right? I mean, if we are able to save even just a small piece of ourselves, why wouldn't we do that? So you are in favor then? I think it's really important we do this.
So it looks like this is just Catherine getting a bit of insight into how different people who live down here felt about the Ark.
What are your thoughts on the Ark?
It's a great idea. Finally finally we have something to do. Am I right?
Are you optimistic about the project's chances of, about the Ark reaching space?
It can definitely be done. You already solved the biggest problem, how to actually get us all in there. Now all we have to do is build the damn thing, and hope Phi is still operational. Yeah, I think we can do it, but it's not going to be easy.
Alright, well, so far, people seem to be in favor of the Ark, which is kind of cool. Seems like Catherine had some really good ideas.
What are your thoughts on the Ark project?
The idea is just incredible, by every definition. It really makes you think about what it means to be human.
What makes you say that?
Beyond the basics, beyond the superficial, I'm convinced there's something with even greater value. You have provided a platform, which is not necessarily restricted to our digital progeny, but a means of actual survival. It's my sincerest belief that we can go on living through the reality of continuity.
Ah, so there you go. Three kind of differing opinions, and obviously Mark seems to think that consciousness is not limited to a human form, but it can continue on, and, you know, he wants it to continue on through the Ark, so interesting.
Is this from inside the Ark?
Yes. That's some early renders of the world inside.
Looks a whole lot comfier than this place.
So you have some kind of blueprints for settings in which the Ark could take place. They all look very, very nice. You've got the schematics, so this is what the Ark would look like. So after the brain scans had been done, they would need to upload it into something, and I guess that this is the Ark itself, which is basically just a box when you think about it. The future is so cool. So here's the calibration survey, and I guess we have time to do this. This is essentially just a survey that you would do after entering the Ark and waking up, and just getting a good feel for how it would be. So let's go ahead and take the test, and I guess this would be based upon your own feelings, seeing as how we're not in the Ark and we have no real way of answering it truthfully as if we were in the Ark. How would you describe your physical condition? Well, I think Simon feels okay. So let's just go with normal. I'm going to do this maybe from how Simon would feel and how he's been feeling as we've been going on through this sort of world that we're in. How would you describe your mental condition? I feel lost. I don't exist anymore. I feel altered. I feel disconnected, or I feel normal. Well, obviously he's feeling mighty lost. He's not feeling great about his circumstances, and I can't say that I blame him. How would you describe your senses? As expected? Normal. I feel more sensitive to and aware of my surroundings. I feel blocked, as if my senses are numb, or I'm lacking one or more of my natural senses. Well, I think he's got all his wits about them. I think he's got all his wits about him, really. So I would say as expected. How would you describe the sensation of your new condition? Well, waking up in an underwater apocalyptic world probably doesn't feel very good. So I'm going to go with depressing. So either it's pleasant, I don't like it, it's disconcerting, or it's depressing. So we'll go with depressing. Are you troubled by the fact that you are no longer strictly human? Interesting question. No, I feel fine, somewhat. Yes, or I don't care what form I take as long as I get to carry on. And I think that's really the most interesting concept of this whole Ark thing is, are you really a human being? Are you really the same person as you were before the scan was done? Would Simon be troubled if he was no longer human? I don't know. Would I be troubled if I was no longer human? Again, it's a very hard question to answer. I don't have the expertise or the experience to answer that question. I'm just gonna say somewhat, which I think is like the neutral answer, or the I don't know answer. How do you perceive your new existence? It's a direct continuation of my previous self. Like a new chapter in my life. It's like being born all over again, or it's something completely different and has nothing to do with my previous self. I would imagine it would be like being born all over again. And I imagine that's kind of how it feels for Simon. Although for Simon it probably more or less feels like a new chapter in his life. Huh. That's a hard question to answer. Let's go with 3. Do you think this new existence will be a life worth living? Yes. Just as much as my previous life? Yes, but with less meaning. Maybe we can find a new sense of meaning in the world? Or no. It's too detached from reality and everything I know. Well, that would definitely be Simon's answer, I can tell you that much. Would you rather be removed from the project and accept death? Wow, that's pretty heavy, straightforward. No, maybe or yes. Well, I think if I had the chance to go into the Ark, why not? I mean, there's no other option other than to just die, so let's say no. And there you go. You save your answers, and I think we can look those up later, and we can look to see how the other team members felt, but I don't quite remember. So there's no real point in doing that survey. That's just something that you can do for fun, and it's just something, you know, you can kind of ask yourself, like, oh, if this was me, you know, how would I answer? So finally, here is the Ark tracker.
Homed in on the Ark.
Oh, that's clever. I wonder if I thought of that. Does it still work? I really need to know what happened to it.
I think so. It's doing something at least.
Where is it?
Hold on. I'm trying to find it.
Please let
So
me
we
see.
basically have to pick these squares and find out where the Ark is and home in on its location. So just click around until you find the correct squares. I think I remember where they all are off by heart. So the Ark is still on Earth, and since we are in the middle of the ocean, it's going to be in one of these ocean squares. But I think it's this one. Yep, so that's going to home in on Pathos 2. So here it is, all of Pathos 2, all of our different sites. And what's interesting, actually, is that Omega's on this map, and I don't think we've heard or seen Omega quite yet. And Omega's actually part of this whole situation down here in the water, but Omega's actually up on the surface, which is kind of cool. So now that we're on this map, we need to try and figure out which site the Ark is at. One of the logs mentioned Phi, so let's look around Phi. Okay, so if it's not at Phi, it's got to be at Tau, because that's the next closest thing. Alright, now we gotta scan, I think, the top square. So that's pretty cool that we're actually able to pinpoint the pretty much exact
I
location.
found it. It's at a site named Tau.
Oh, no, it's on Earth. It's so close to Phi, they almost made it. Damn it, it won't make it for long in that state. A couple of decades at most. That's not much to build a future.
If we got to it, could we get on the Ark?
I suppose, but I'm not exactly flexible at the moment.
Wow, that is a long way to go, man. We gotta go all the way from Lambda through to Theta, possibly through Delta, all the way through Omicron. Then we have to go to Tau, and then apparently it was supposed to be going all the way to Phi. So we essentially have to trek from one end of the map to the other, of course.
I'll take us there. I can move, jump, swim, sort of. You're stuck in the door opener, the Omni tool. I'll just carry you there and you'll show me what to do.
That sounds really risky. Besides, I don't like the idea of you carrying me around.
Come on, Catherine, this is what you wanted to do, your final mission. Let's launch the Ark.
We would need to find a way to get into the abyss. Can't take the climber without a power suit. We probably have to go to Theta and pray that Dunbat's still working.
Okay, so we go to Theta.
I don't know, it's pretty far.
Catherine, look around. What else is there to do? Maybe there's still a working shuttle train that can take us to Theta.
I doubt it.
Just have a look around. Push comes to shove, I'll walk there.
Okay then, I'll just eject from this thing. Don't forget to take me with you.
I won't forget. Can I pull the Omni tool out?
Wait. Okay, just be sure to plug me in again at some point.
You got it.
Good luck, Simon.
Yeah, make sure you don't forget the Omni tool, like she said. It's a big pain in the ass if you ever forget to take it with you when you go somewhere. And Simon and Catherine have a very interesting relationship because they kind of go back and forth and they really feed off of each other. When we first met Catherine, when she was still in this body here, you know, she was very excited about us helping her with the task. She really wanted to find out about the Ark. And Simon was really the one that was saying, well, what the hell's the point? I mean, look around you. There's absolutely no point in anything anymore. And now the rules are kind of switched, where Catherine's a little bit discouraged that the Ark is still on Earth, and she's kind of doubting herself. And now it's up to Simon to encourage her and say, hey, we should really follow through with this and do what it is that you wanted to do. So I like the back and forth between the two of them, and we'll be able to see that as we continue on in this area. And that's really all there is for Lambda. We really don't spend very much time in here at all. It's probably the smallest kind of area that we go through. And so really the only thing we have left to do now is just to leave. We can go out the way that we came, and we can try and figure out how to traverse on through all the way towards where the Ark is being stored. So we'll continue on in the next video. I'll probably just save it here, and we'll go through the door next time and carry on our merry little way. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.